Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Budgets with Elma, and on my channel, I do zero-based budgeting, cash stuffing, and I try to reach financial freedom for me and my family of five. So, welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're hearing my voice, hit the like, share, subscribe, and join the royal family. I hope you find something very valuable in watching my video, and if you do, you know the deal. Join, right? And for those of you who are OGs, thank you for coming back and clicking and sharing with me your valuable time. In today's video, we're going to do my budget with me. And the budget with me that we'll be working on is paycheck number one. Yes, you heard me right. A life and lifing, but as always, I like to stay organized with doing my budget whenever that can be, right? Whenever I can squeeze it in to do it, I would do it. But keep in mind the fixed expenses, as always, are done digitally, so there is no problems. Bills are paid on time. But as for me sharing with you how I broke down the income that I brought in, I want to do that in today's video because your girl is going to be getting paid very soon, paycheck number two. But before I do, I wanted to make sure that I break down, really showing you how much did I get, where did it go, and how did I really divide the money on places it needs to go. Remember, on my channel, I am a zero-based budgeter, which means everything that comes in, I give it a job and I give it a purpose. So in the comments below, you're going to let me know what type of budgeter are you? Are you a digital budgeter? Do you use an Excel sheet? Do you use Google, or do you use a budgeting app? Are you just a pen and paper type of budgeter? Okay. What type of budgeter are you? There's so many ones out there. Let me know in the comments below. And as for your paycheck, when you get paid, do you get variable income, which means your income varies? Based on how you get paid or when you get paid, okay, especially if you're an entrepreneur, or do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly? Let me know that in the comments below. Spill the tea on how you get paid and how do you do your budget. I always like to know, people who are watching, how do they do it and what budget schedule are they on? Or are you semi-budget, which means you get paid from the 1st to the 15th or the 15th to the 30th, okay? Let me know, where do you fall and how do you do it? Now, for me specifically, I am a hybrid budgeter, which means every fixed expense does get paid online. Everything that you can click on a button and schedule it, or I go on and do it depending on the actual expense, I will do so. On my channel, when I do cash stuff, it's cash stuffing, saving challenges, all right, key, challenges that I'm doing with your long term to reach my end of year goal. You might see me cash stuffing those, and of course my everyday wallet. And sometimes, depending on how the budget is going, I might just leave it on my card and still monitor how I'm spending my money, and I don't get a chance to budget, or it all depends, right? But on my channel, I do cash stuff, mostly challenges, and my everyday wallet. But for fixed expenses, I usually just leave that in the bank and I do it that way. So that is how I do it on my channel. Now, I do have a bills binder where I am cash stuffing for my month ahead savings, which I'm trying to do on all my fixed expenses a month ahead. Now, that is one that I do cash stuff. It is for my bills, but it's for future bills, just in case something were to happen and I got to rely on that. Or once I do fully fund it, I will have it there where I will be month ahead all the time on my expenses. But let's jump into the budget, all right? So do not forget to share with me, how do you do your budget, all right? And let me move my name sign. And we're going to do a little bit of update on life and things like that as well, because I did not get to do a actual budget bill binder, which I love to do at the beginning of the month. But again, because life and lifing, I did not get to do that. And so we're going to touch a little bit on that. But let's jump into the budget. What I did to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and filled in the key fixed expenses we're going to talk about in today's video, and some key categories that goes with the budget. I'm just going to put this over here. Oh, and just to look at the template, I do have this as a freebie in my Coffee/Ko-Fi shop. So if you needed to budget and you just need a template that's very easy and simple, I have created it. You can go ahead to my Coffee/Ko-Fi shop and get you a freebie. All right. So Let me just cover it up a little bit and we will go from there. And the noise you hear in the background is my mom. I am caring for my mom, guys, who suffered a stroke. Again, we'll go into that a little bit throughout the video, but just know that you will hear her from time to time on my videos. My kids are good when they know I'm recording, and my hubby not to interrupt, but mom from time to time will do so. And she's actually snoring in the background. I had to do the video when she was kind of sleeping. All right, so that is why you're getting this late video real quick before I head to bed. I am doing this video, so that's her snoring in the background, guys. All right, so like I said, that's her. So if you could hear her snoring in the background, put a snoring emoji, okay? Now let's jump into the budget. All right, so the income that I'm working with, I typically do $1,600. And when I say $1,600, because I do take off a couple of things prior to this that I'm sharing here. And then, of course, I take out my ties. And then, of course, all the deductions from work, from health, dental, vision, all of those key things, you know, your job pull from your check, that is all taken off as well. And then, so I am budgeting $1,600. And again, I don't pull this out of the bank. It is just the amount that I'm showing you that I am using. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the income section. I also have a rollover of 185. All right, so that puts me at 1,785. And let me put this to the side real quick. So I'm going to do a rollover, and that's 185, and that gives me a total of 1,785. All right, now the key expenses that I am working with in today's video, guys, is the following. Let me just fold this here, that way. All right, so the key ones that we are working with are these here, all right, for the beginning portion of the month. Now, keep in mind, my mortgage and ties, I always save a month ahead, meaning I take bi-weekly. Every time I get paid from the month previous, I save some, and my husband does the same. And then when the beginning of the new month come in, like we're in July now, in the beginning of July, my husband and I, we put that together and we take care of our mortgage. All right, so I just wanted to represent that the mortgage is paid for the beginning of the month in this month, okay? But when I use my actual income in the current month, I am going towards the fixed expenses and not for the mortgage, because I always save from the month previous. I hope that's understandable for you to understand. But anyway, right here, the key expenses we're going to focus on is the electric, and that's $147. Trash and water, which is my utility bill, is $125. My Netflix is $30. I got to check on that. It has increased. So let me know if you have noticed that as well. If you have Netflix, and we have the highest package, of course, no commercials, and my kids watch it on multiple devices, television, their cell phones, or iPads, whatever, they watch it. They're like real Netflix people, okay? I watch it every once in a while, but I noticed that when I seen it on my bank statement, it was 30, if I'm not mistaken, or close to it. All right, so 30 for that. Canva is 13. Apple is 3. That's for my kids' storage. They all have Apple devices. I'm Android. They're team Apple. So let me know, where do you fall when it comes to that at your house? All right, and Amazon, this is for my Amazon, I believe, Prime. I do get that membership for $8, and there's different criterias you can get to get that if you're a student, or if you have kids that are students, or if you're a student, if you're part of the military. I think they may have something if you're in the educational field. There's so many different qualifications where the Amazon regular monthly fee or annual fee changes based on if you fall into that, and I do, so I pay $8. And then for my HOA, it is $175, the half of the amount. And then so we're going to total all of that in there. So I'm going to clear out my calculator and put all of those in. And again, I apologize for the snoring in the background. Yes, my mom is going at it real hard. Okay, so let's do that. And I was debating to do the recording in my bedroom, but my husband is usually watching, you know, like television. Let me redo that number in, or watching his, you know, his TikTok or whatever, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And it'll be in the background. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record what I normally record. And I just have to wait until she is like quiet down in order to do so. All right. So all of the expenses for fixed expense came up to $1,501 as the total. And again, mortgage and tithes are already covered for paycheck number one. The next expenses I do is the variable expenses. And this category here, guys, is based on your life, your lifestyle, and how many people are in your house. So you get to choose this. You can keep this in your card if you're a digital cash stuffer, right? You just leave it on your card, but you know what you're going towards spending and how you have your money divided. But if you're cash stuffing, these are the ones that I have in my everyday wallet that I always cash stuff here and there. Sometimes I may not do one, I may do another, but these are the key ones that's actually in my everyday wallet. So I have groceries, which is $250. Gas is for $100 because I'm driving a lot. And my daughter is in camp, so I bring her to camp before heading to work, and I pick her up after that as well. And so your gas is getting used. And then for personal, I am doing, let's see here, I think I was thinking of doing personal for 40. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that out. I did have my white out. That's what I was doing when writing these in. And let's see here. And make this 40. There we go. And 40 for personal, 30 for kids. Because like I said, my daughter's in camp. And so she needs money here and there for camp. And then laundry for 20. And eating out is for 60. And that's if I need to get something at work. Usually I bring lunch if I can. But if I go to lunch with coworkers and things like that, I always leave 60 for that. All right. So we have $250 for groceries, $100 for gas, 40, 30, 20, and 60. All right. And that's a total of 500 going to my everyday wallet. We're going to move to the next side. I have for paycheck number one, the debt I'm going to be taking care of is 180. I have my toll fee because I do take the toll to get to work and back because I live far from my job. And then I'm going to add that in. And then my YouTube memberships to supporting you guys memberships, whether it's on YouTube or Coffee, that all totals up to 25, and that gives me a total of 230 in this category. All right, the next one is sinking funds and saving challenges. All right, so in this category here, I am doing a couple of collabs. If you've been a member of my YouTube channel, you know this already. I am doing Laura's Christmas in July. I'm doing my Faith and Finance, which is on Sundays, which is Women in Faith collab. I'm also doing the Sun Kiss challenge, which is a Christmas collab, and this one is from Nat Budget. And I'm also doing Pen Pal and Tiny's when I can, okay? And so with all of these all together, these challenges here, I am budgeting $300 to cash stuff any of these, all right? Just to let you know, on any of my videos that you've seen, these have already, some of them have already started using, of course, while you're watching my videos, but I budgeted $300 in this category. All right. And then the next thing I'm going to do for sinking funds, I am doing back to school because my kids are heading back to school in August. So I will be getting prepped to buy things for them here and there. So I am budgeting $100 in this category. The next one I have here is my bills binder buffer, which means whatever's left over after doing this, guys, to zero out the account, will go into here. All right. So that way my account, everything that I bring in as the income will go towards the expenses that we are writing here to zero out the account. It does not mean every time my budget is on point. It just means whatever's left over, it is what it is. It's going to go in the buffer account. And the buffer account will then, if any of the fixed expenses are more than what I budgeted for, it will get pulled from here. Or if I need to shop, something happens and I can't use my cash or I don't have enough, the buffer will represent that as well. Okay. So it is just a little bit money on the side for just in case. All right. And then if I don't use it at all, it'll go towards the next paycheck, and then whatever's left over, that will go towards my mortgage when we do the upcoming month payment. That's just how it is. And my husband put what he puts and we cover the mortgage. All right. So that is how we do it. So let's go ahead and total everything up to get that final number. And I hope you can see that in frame. And so let's see what's what. And then we're going to cash stuff, and that will be the end of that. But as I mentioned, I told you that my mom has suffered a stroke. So due to that, um, life has been lifing and things has been turned around. So you'll be seeing some changes on my video, especially with my schedule, on how I record and how I do my videos. You're also going to see some changes on how I cash stuff or how I stuff my binders. So you'll be seeing those in a couple upcoming videos to just get organized, because I like things organized, if you didn't know, on my channel, just by how I do things, and it has been throwing me off. So just to get things just right, I'm going to be doing some organization, some resetting, doing some things differently on my channel. And you'll see that when I do my July monthly overview. We'll talk more into that. But yes, it's just caring for my mom has been, like I said, a big life experience. I love spending time with my mom, love taking care of her. And me and my siblings, we do take time to do so. And so it's just been quite an experience. I'll leave it at that. Again, when I do my monthly overview, I'll jump more into that, but it has changed how I do my video and how I'm going to do things moving forward. So again, we're budgeting the total of $1,785. Now we're going to minus everything to zero out the account. We have fixed expenses for 501. That leaves me with 1,284. I'm just going to place it right here on the side. All right, so we'll have it here. And that is 1,284. And then we're going to go ahead and minus out the fixed expense of 500. Excuse me, the variable expenses. And that gives me a total of 784 instead of the 4. And then from here, we're going to minus out my debt / other expenses. And we're going to minus the 230. That gives me a total of 554. And then from here, we're going to minus my cash stuffing or sinking funds. We're going to start with this portion here. We're going to minus out what I want to do for cash stuffing of saving challenges. That leaves me with 254. And we're going to move down. Right here, I already told you I want to do $100 in my back to school sinking fund, because we're going to be shopping for back to school this weekend. And so with that, I'm going to minus $100. That's going to go into that sinking fund. That leaves me with 154 remaining. And then that right there will go as the bill buffer account. Okay, so my bills account, the buffer amount remaining is 154. And then when I minus that amount from here, but let me add everything up first. So that is a total of 300 plus 100 plus 154 gives me 544. All right. Alrighty. So that's the total of this whole section. Okay. Oh, my bad. So I had 554 for this section. When I minus that one out, it zeroes out this whole amount. So let me put everything in towards the bottom. So we had 1,785. We had expenses for 1,785. And then that zeroed out the account because we knew what we had left over. All right. So that is that. Now I'm going to go ahead and cash stuff my everyday wallet, and that'll be a wrap of the video. I hope you enjoyed how I broke down the money I brought in. And so let's go ahead and cash stuff. Now this, pouch here where I'm keeping my money, this little envelope here, is from Tanya from the Nightlife. When she sent me some Happy Mail, she included this cute, all right, money bag that I would be using to break down the income. And she does have this in her Coffee/Ko-Fi shop if you would like to get your hands on it. I love it. And so we're using it today to show you what I will be using. And this is what we have here. And this is a total, let me grab my calculator, of $500, and this is the cash breakdown. okay, that I used. All right, at the teller, and I have the money here. Let me go ahead and just fix everything. And we should be all done. Let's see here. There we go. And I'll move this to the side here. Okay, so we have 100, 200. And so you can see as well. So we have 200. We have 20, 40, 60, 80. 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. So we have 180. Throw this at the bottom. All right, so right now we're at 380. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, so that's 460. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, which equals a total of 500. Wanted to make sure you could see that. And let's go ahead and cash up what we need to. And keep in mind, let me, as I am cash stuffing, let me know, are you interested in me doing it unstuffing? Usually if I just use the money, I use it. And then when I do a next budget with me, my envelopes are all empty because I make sure I use my money, and whatever's left over, I stuff it into challenges, like roll it over into doing some other challenges. But let me know if you want me to do an unstuffing video where I minus the expenses I did and pull it out and make change. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Now for gas, I am going to put $100 into this. And last month was my lucky month. So that is why, even though I didn't do the cash stuffing yet, I was okay because I still had money in there with that extra paycheck. Instead of my typical 2, I got 3 in the month previous. And so that carried me on to not needing to cash stuff yet. All right. So the next one is kids. And as I told you, my daughter is in camp. So she always needs some money. So let's do 10, 20, 30 for her. I like to give her either by 5s so she can get a snack at camp. You know, she packs a little lunch, but just in case they sell something different that she may need. All right, and there we go. The next one is for groceries. I am budgeting $250. So that's 1, 20, 40, 50, 60, 80. Oh, excuse me, guys. What am I doing? Let me say that again. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And then we're going to do 40, 50. Because we're cash stuffing $250 for groceries. I like to give my son $50 to buy certain things that he needs. And that's my high schooler that he's big into nutrition, and there's certain things that he buys that's not part of the grocery list. So 50 goes to him, 200 goes to me to shop for the rest of the family. And if we need anything extra, my husband chips in. I just use his card, okay? Or he usually gives me money if there's something extra I didn't buy. The next one is for personal. And for personal, I am doing 40. So we're going to go with 2 20s to equal to 40. All right. For eating out, I am putting 60, 20 right here, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right. And that's just so I can go to lunch with coworkers, or if I need to buy lunch, or if my daughter surprised me and we got to go get something. All right. Because sometimes she drives at my job and like, Mom, let's go to lunch. All right. So for toiletries, I am doing this time around. Hold on. Okay. So for toiletries, since I don't see my library, not my library one, I meant to say my laundry one. We're going to just put this in here. That was supposed to go into laundry, but I'm not seeing it in here. I don't know if I clipped it out or whatever, but it'll go in here. Nevertheless, it'll still go in here, but it'll go towards laundry, okay? But I'll just put in the toiletries if I need to buy any detergent for laundry or anything like that, all right? But there you go. Me cash stuffing my categories, total of $500 into here in my everyday wallet. I hope you enjoyed my video, and excuse